Hi, my name is Daniel Davis, and this is just going to be a quick overview of how to print to our printers using 3D Printer OS. Most of you watching this should already have received an invitation to create an account on 3D Printer OS, and once you've created an account, you can always go to cloud.3dprinteros.com and log in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And when you do that for the first time, this will be your default view. And this is a view of all the files that you have added where nothing has been done with them yet. So right now I just have a single file in there, and you can always add more files. So I'm just going to add a file, and I'm just going to click choose file, and then you can upload any file that you've downloaded. And this could just be a file that you downloaded from Thingiverse or one that you created in Tinkercad or something like that. You also have the option to create files from within the program itself. And this program is a little bit buggy, so I would recommend Tinkercad over this file. But if you're in a pinch, you can create your own 3D files from within the program itself. You just want to make sure that you have our type of printer selected, which is the Dremel 3D45, and that will change the floor size to match the size of our 3D printer. And then you can just add objects and manipulate objects, I'm going to click place to bed and then just create really basic files. And you can either save it to your computer to use it later or in other programs, or you can just click this button to save it to your files. So now I have two files there, and I'm just going to delete one of them. Once you have your files added, the next thing that you want to do is get it ready to be 3D printed. The best thing to do for files, since you don't know their origin, is to use the repair button to prepare it for use on our 3D printer. And once I click this, it's going to take this file and create a project for it. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to click repair. I have our printer selected, and these are the different things that it's going to do to the file to make sure that it's ready to be 3D printed with minimal errors. So now I can click fix. It's going to do all the changes, and then when it's done I can click close, and you can see that it's now switched to the My Projects tab where it lists all my different projects for files that I've printed. And within this project folder, I call these folders, it has our original file and then our fixed file. And I'm going to go with the fixed file to now get it more ready for our 3D printer. Now that it's been repaired, I will need to slice it so that it can be printed. So I'm going to go ahead and click slice. The defaults here are basically fine. You don't really need to change anything on this page. If you did need to change anything, it would most likely be supports. Supports are for if you have a lot of overhangs, like if you're 3D printing the letter T, supports are good to add that extra stability so that the ends of the T don't start sagging, if that makes any sense. So since this is just basically a donut, it really doesn't need supports. So I'm going to uncheck that. If you don't know if it needs supports or not, just go ahead and check it and 3D print it. Once that's done, you can just click slice, and it's going to create a file that can now be sent to the 3D printer. It's called a G-code file. And you can preview what it's going to look like when it's printed out. And this just shows all the different slicing paths and things like that. And then you can send it to the printer by clicking print. And once you click print, it brings up all of the 3D printers that we have. and it tells you their status. We have one where the bed is not clear. That means something is currently sitting on the bed. You have two that are offline. One that says that it is currently printing something and it tells you how much longer it has. And then one that is idle and the bed is empty, and it doesn't have anything ready to be printed on it. So this is the only one that we can print to. And if you want to verify what is on a 3D printing bed, you can click the Live View button and it's going to connect to the printer and show you what it's currently doing. And obviously these are only for the 3D printers that are online. So this is currently in the process of printing a file. And this one has a file that is already printed, it just has not been retrieved yet. And this one currently has nothing on it, or it should have nothing on it. So this is the only 3D printer that we can currently print to. And if I wanted to print, I would go ahead and click print and it would send the file to the 3D printer, but I don't want to occupy all the printers right now, so I'm just going to leave that as is. Once you start a 3D print, it's going to send you a notification. This is what the notifications will look like. This is automated and sent directly from 3DPrinterOS, and it tells you that your file has started printing. So let's say you wanted to see what the 3D printers are currently doing, and let's say you want to check on the status of your 3D print a little later on. What you can do is click up here at printers, and this is going to show you all of our different printers and what their status is. So you can see that this one is printing. It's got about 3% done. It tells you the approximate time left, who sent the file that's to be printed, and it shows you what is intended to be printed. And then you also have one that has nothing on it. It's idle. It doesn't have any files sent to it. And then you have another one, and it says that the bed is not clear. And what this means is that something is on it and somebody has not physically hit the button on the machine to clear it, which let me just go over that with you, that process with you real quick. So whenever a file is done printing, what you want to do is, or you can do this or you can have somebody on site do this, is use one of these little paint scrapers to scrape up your finished 3D print. And that's kind of the easiest way to do it. Sometimes it will require a little bit of force. These beds are detachable if you want to detach it, but to get more force behind it and help you get it off. But these beds are not bendable. They are made of glass and they will break, so don't try to bend them. Once you have the 3D part removed, you can then spray some water on it, and then wipe that up with a paper towel to get all the residue off and any extra filament off. Now once you have the 3D part completely removed, you will see this notification on the 3D printer that says build complete, clear the build platform. And then once you're done clearing it, you can click accept. And this will tell 3D Printer OS that the build tray is now clear and that it is ready to be printed on. And you can always click Live View to verify that a build tray is clear. So once it connects, you can see if there's something on there or not, and that's a good habit to get in before you actually send something to the 3D printer. You can click Live View to view the print job, and if it's messing up, you can always click Pause to pause it and maybe go check it out and see what's wrong if you're on site, or you can just cancel it and then have somebody go and clear it so that you can start over again. So you can basically control the entire printer from this interface. If I were to click Tools and Printer Settings, you can see basically everything that you want to know about the printer. including the camera, which there's a good preview right there of the camera. The filament color, you can track the filament usage and different things like that. So that is basically it. Whenever your 3D print is done, you'll receive an email saying that your print is done, and it will also give you a time lapse of the print as it's taking place. So that, for the most part, is a basic run through of how to use 3D Printer OS.